Live from the Wallace Civic Center on the campus of Fitchburg State University, FATV presents coverage of the 2024 Mark Bushnoe Memorial Tournament. And today we have another doubleheader of hockey for you here on FATV with the consolation game and the championship game. We'll start with the consolation game. It may be for third place, but it may be just as important as the game that we're going to see later tonight, because after all, it is the rivalry on ice. It's the Leominster Blue Devils and the Monty Tech Fitchburg Bulldogs. Good evening, everyone. Thank you for tuning in. I'm Daniel Bolak. Happy to have you along with us here tonight for day 2 of the Mark Bushnoe Memorial Tournament. These two teams playing in the consolation game will tell you that these two teams unfortunately tasted defeat last night. For Leominster, they did have their best game of this young season as they were able to hang with the Hudson Hawks, coming in with a 3-0-1 record. Held the Hawks to just a single goal through 27 minutes of play, but then the dam broke as Hudson scored 3 goals in 2 minutes and 11 seconds and skated away to a 5-2 victory. For Leominster, they were able to get 2 goals in the third period from Jacob Turner and Tyler Woods. James Demitsky also had an assist. Logan Wood and admirable 31 saves in goal. The Blue Devils ultimately outshot 36-26, but after being outscored 24-4 in their first 3 games, a 5-2 result, more than reasonable for the Blue Devils, and shows some hopes that maybe they're starting to skate in the right direction. Meanwhile, for Monty Tech Fitchburg, they had quite the slugfest last night against Lunenburg Ayer Shirley, the host team of this tournament. And it was a pretty close game throughout, in which at one point the Bulldogs had a 4-2 lead. However, LAS was able to turn it around, score twice in the matter of a couple of minutes, get a power play goal a few minutes later, and then on a major power play, score 2 more times in the third period to put it away and take a 7-4 victory. For the Bulldogs, Tucker Watkins had 2 goals. Kyle Jedred had a goal and an assist. Ben Jeanette had a goal as well. Charlie Collaro and Jackson Leader each had an assist. Easton Minardi made 29 saves. The Bulldogs were outshot 36-21. It was closer than that through 2 periods, but that major power play really tilted the ice in the Blue Knights' favor. So these two teams are back at it. Less than 24 hours rest, even less rest for Monty Tech Fitchburg, going from the late game with a 6:30 or so puck drop to the early game with a 2 o'clock puck drop, so not even 18 hours to rest. So the legs might be a little more fatigued. And we'll see if that plays any factor in today's contest. You look at these two teams and who are the impact players for either side. For the Blue Devils, Jacob Turner, junior defenseman, has factored into 5 of the 6 goals that Leominster has scored this year. Only that goal in the final minute from Tyler Woods in last night's game, the only one that Turner did not factor into. 3 goals and 2 assists for the junior. Goal scorers for the Blue Devils as well as Tyler Woods are Johnny Denning and Lucas Renda. Renda has 3 points on the campaign, a goal and 2 assists. And Logan Wood is the lone netminder for the Blue Devils. He's the only one they've got. He has a .663 goals against average in this campaign, but played fairly well last night. Showed off his flexibility, his movement, and was just fighting through that contest as he was keeping the Hawks at bay. But it was just really when all came crashing down in the second period. There were some defensive breakdowns, there were some great shots by the Hawks. They were able to convert where they hadn't been earlier. And for the Blue Devils, obviously against their natural rival in Monty Tech Fitchburg, of course, formerly Fitchburg Monty Tech for a very long time, which is where the rivalry on ice storyline ties in if you're not familiar. As Fitchburg and Leominster, of course, the strongest of rivals. But we can still say the rivalry continues even if Monty Tech is the host team now. For Monty Tech Fitchburg, just seeing how they came out last night and how they were hanging with LAS, it was quite clear that Monty Tech Fitchburg was playing a much faster game than Leominster was. It felt like Leominster was sort of playing down to a slower grind-out level in last night's game, and Hudson was more than content to play at that pace. But for Monty Tech Fitchburg last night, they had to play basically with rocket skates going up and down the ice. They played a much faster tempo than Leominster did, and I kind of wonder if Monty Tech Fitchburg comes out with that faster tempo today, will Leominster be able to hang on? And after all, this Leominster team has given up 7, 8, and 9 goals in their other 3 games that were not last night. For the Bulldogs, they're also going to be hoping for a much better defensive performance as well. This season, they've given up 4, 5, and 7 goals. That's 20 conceded in 4 games. And unless you're outscoring the opponent by a lot like they did in their opener against Gardner 7-4, then that may not necessarily be sustainable. So it's Leominster and it's Monty Tech Fitchburg in the 3rd place game in the Mark Bushnoe Memorial Tournament. But this is also a Coughlin Conference game as well, and it counts just as much in the standings. We're hopefully going to be in for a good one. Throw it down to public address announcer Jim LaPointe for the starting lineups and the national anthem right here on FATV.
Today's first game is the consolation matchup. Features the Monty Tech Bulldogs versus the Leominster Blue Devils. Here are the starting lineups. First for Monty Tech. Starting on defense, number 27, Charlie Calero. Defense number 2, Alex Armstrong. At center, number 11, Austin Haas. Left wing, number 15, Ben Jeanette. At right wing, number 16, Jordan Samet. And in goal for the Bulldogs, number 1, Owen Richard. The head coach for Monty Tech is Noah Saracen. And now for the Blue Devils, starting at right wing, number 10, Johnny Denning. At center, number 17, Lucas Renda. Left wing, number 16, Jacob Nicholson. Defense, number 9, Max Crossman. Defense, number 4, Jacob Turner. And in goal for the Devils, number 31, Logan Wood. The head coach for Leominster is Frank Mooney. Officials for today's game, Dan Spedding and Mike Ware. Ladies and gentlemen, students, at this time, I'd ask you all to please stand as we honor our nation and the flag with a playing of the Star-Spangled Banner.
Moments away from puck drop here at the Wallace Civic Center in Fitchburg. The Leominster Blue Devils and the Monty Tech Fitchburg Bulldogs set to do battle here. It'll be the first of 2 meetings between these 2 teams this season. They'll meet again later in the season on February the 8th. That'll be a Saturday right here in Fitchburg. That'll be part of the annual Jake Tebow benefit game, Hockey Day in the Burg. So the starting goalies for these 2 teams, Logan Wood makes his 5th appearance for the Blue Devils. The senior 0-4 with a .663 goals against on the season. For the Bulldogs, Owen Richard, he's a senior. He'll make his 2nd appearance of the campaign. He played last Saturday against Littleton Bromfield, stopped 38 shots on 43 attempts. Bulldogs will go from right to left in the road red uniforms in this first period. Leominster, the home white uniforms, go from left to right. End up against the boards in the right wing corner, trying to center, nothing going there. Jeanette trying to fight for the puck in the slot. Denning tries to flip it around with the backhand to the right wing corner. Nicholson trying to flick it back the other way. Really taken behind the net by the Bulldogs. Backhand pass from Jeanette. Maybe he was looking for Austin Haas. He wasn't quite there, but it comes around to Charlie Collaro. He takes a shot. It's deflected in front. Still loose in front. They score! It was cut down in traffic. Wood had no idea where it was. Nobody seemed to know where it was, except for Ben Jeanette, who put it in the net. 42 seconds into this contest, the first strike to Monty Tech Fitchburg. I think the way everybody reacted there, I think everybody thought that might have deflected up into the netting and out of play because nobody was quite sure where the puck was. But Jeanette just found it sitting on the ice, and he was able to pop it in the empty net. 1-0 to the Bulldogs. And there's a toe save there by Wood on the shot from Tucker Watkins. Now Gendron with a shot saved by Wood. Rebound kicks out to the left side. Gendron still has it in the left circle. Goes to the left side for Watkins, thinking about a wraparound. Doesn't find the room. Now Leader in front, redirected behind the net. Now on the right side, Gendron goes bad angle, stopped by Wood. Austin Haas and Charlie Collaro will get the assists on Ben Jeanette's 5th goal of the season. He leads the team in that statistic. There's a backhand wraparound score! A spin-around shot is what I should be saying there. And Kyle Gendron leads the handshake line as he puts it past Wood. 40 seconds after the first strike, it's 2-0 Monty Tech Fitchburg.
Bulldogs setting goal by the 13, Tucker Watkins. Assist to the 12, Kyle Gendron. Technical 122 first period.
It was Watkins who got the goal. I wasn't 100% sure myself, but Gendron led the handshake line, but it was Watkins' goal. It'll be Watkins' 5th goal of the season. Now he's tied with Jeanette for the team lead. Gendron picks up his 4th assist. $13:19 to go in the first period. 2-0 Monty Tech Fitchburg, and they have the first 5 shots in this contest. So even with a bit of the short rest, the Bulldogs definitely not coming out flat. Face-off sent directly into the Leominster bench. Puck dropped and sent out of play so quickly, Stranglehold didn't even stop. Draw again to the left of Logan Wood, won by the Bulldogs. Trahan tried to throw it in the direction of goal, but that was cut down in front. Now Johnson on the left side. Swings it around the boards, or Max Crossman will try to clear it out of the zone, but Trahan keeps it in. 9 stopping 9 there. Gavin Roy with the touch. Trahan trying to move it along. Bulldogs still keep it in the zone. Turner's got it now. He'll double back. Try to make the Bulldogs catch him. Now he finally skates out of the zone, throws an 85-footer on Owen Richard for the first shot of the game for the Blue Devils. Richard gloves that down, leaves it in front of him. Havoc happens in front and behind, and from there, the Bulldogs will carry it out. Here's Gavin Roy at the left side. He's got some open ice. He shoots, and it's stopped by Wood. They've had a little bit of trouble holding on to the puck, but he held on to it long enough that he was able to get the whistle from the officials and get a stoppage play with 12:27 to go in the first. We talked about this a little bit yesterday. Wood going with the all-black pads means it may be a little more difficult for players or the officials to find the puck if it's wrapped up somewhere in his body and maybe not fully covered. But that's a positive because if the official can't see the puck, he's got to blow the whistle. So you may be able to earn a couple extra stoppages in play where there might not be a stoppage otherwise with white pads. That one into the 4th row. And Jim LaPointe will hand a new puck to our referee. Didn't catch the names of the referees for this game, but 2 referees, no linesmen used in NFHS hockey. Face-off will come outside of the Bulldog zone. Colin Bean winning the draw for Monty Tech Fitchburg. On the left side, Caden Byington laid out there. Charlie Collaro standing strong. Well, the Bulldogs lost his footing there in Dylan Grant. First time I've seen him this season. Grant missed the first couple of games with injury. Sent into the Bulldog zone. They lead 2-0 with a little over 4 minutes gone as Grant goes cross ice. Looking for Nick Atkins. Now on the right side. Kalaro trying to generate some offense, gets a shot from a bad angle. That's stopped by Wood. Out to the left side, Grant. Tries to get to Armstrong, not enough on it, taken by Byington. He dumps it in, ends up being a shot on target. It's kicked away by Richard. Second shot of the game for Leominster. Both of them have been closer to the red line than they've been to the net. Say their own red line, but that doesn't make any sense. On the right side, Bulldogs carrying it in again, but now dispossessed. Now Leominster trying to catch them on the change. Another shot from the left side boards. That's turned aside by Richard. Floated out in front. Turner's there. He shoots. That's why the net ricochets off the boards. Nicholson trying to follow on from the left side, but it misses the mark. At the right point, kept in by Crossman. He'll send it around to the left side, but Atkins is going to get there first for the Bulldogs. Flicks it ahead for Jeanette. Jeanette with some space in the right circle. Shoots, saved by Wood. Gets that one in the left armpit and holds for a draw. 10:27 to go in the first. 2-0 Monty Tech Fitchburg. Season still relatively young for these sides. It's the 5th of 20 games on the slate for these two teams in the regular season. Chipped out of the zone. Jackson Leader throws it to the near side. The Bulldog will get there in Jeanette. He's just a sophomore, but has been showing a lot of promise this season. Last year, Jeanette had just 2 goals and 2 assists. This season, he's already got 5 goals. Now to the slot. Renda trying to turn around, couldn't get a shot on. Turner with a pass, trying to feed Denning, cutting to the goal on the left side, but he couldn't get there. Matt Daniels up ice on the left side. Jeanette kept it in his skates. Keeps it going, takes the pressure from Byington. Sent down to the ice, loose out in front, and Wood will gobble that one up as it comes to him. Holding for a draw. 9:39 to go in the first period. 2-0 Monty Tech Fitchburg in front. 2 goals in 40 seconds for the Bulldogs in the opening 90. Jeanette and Watkins with the strikes. Jeanette goes to Leader. Tries to get it back out to the left circle. Kyle Gendron battling with Caden Byington. 12 on 12 there. Watkins tries to join the fray. Gets the puck. Shakes off one man. Now Gendron on the left side, bad angle, shot saved by Wood. Rebound still loose in the right side circle, but now pops out to the boards. Watkins, backhand pass to the right side. Off the tape of a Bulldog. Now out to the left side corner. Gendron trying to protect, can't get a shot away. Byington on the near side. Check that, Jameson Coltrane. Trying to move that along, but taken away. Here's Gendron passing on the right side, but it goes through the skates of Jackson Stubbert. Still looking for his first point in the campaign, the freshman. Also be his first varsity point. Puck ends up getting caught up in the referee's skates. Now out to the top of the slot. Shot by Leader, kicked away by Wood. Watkins behind the net. To the right circle. High rising shot by Daniels. Goes over the net. Another shot on the left side. Wood scrambling, trying to force that puck away. Back to Jackson Leader at the left point. He shoots through traffic, kicked away by Wood. Already the 11th shot of the period for Monty Tech Fitchburg. And we're only about 7 minutes into this contest. It's been all Bulldogs in the early going, but with that pressure comes a 2-on-1. Up the left side, a shot punched away by Richard off the stick of Isaac Rosado. On the center of the ice, here's Watkins. As he neared the end of his shift, kept it away from the Blue Devils and dumped it in. Everyone continuing to change up the personnel as Holden Trahan dumps it back in from inside the red line. Still a delayed offside, and Noah Johnson had not gotten the memo it was a delayed offside, and eventually they'll blow the whistle and force the faceoff to one side of Richard. 7:32 to go in the first. 2-0 Monty Tech Fitchburg in front. Shots 11-4 in favor of the Bulldogs. Most of the chances that Leominster's had have been from distance. No real high danger chances thus far. Renda taking the draw against Stefanillo, and Stefanillo will win it for the Bulldogs. On the near side, though, Renda gets it back out to the point. Turner, his shot, punched up in the air by Richard, and it actually lands on top of the net. He got just enough of it. A little less, and that might have snuck under the crossbar. Richard will tap the crossbar. And the net for gathering that puck up for him. Now in front, big slap shot there by Nicholson, but it goes wide to the right. Ryan Gavin and Gavin Roy fighting on the right side corner for that puck. Stefanillo trying to skate it out. Stopped there for a moment by Crossman. Now it comes out of the zone. Here's Johnson on the right side. He shoots towards goal. Standing up there and gloving it out of the air is Logan Wood. And he'll hold for a draw with 6:54 to go in the first. As they play Don't You Forget About Me. Did you know the Vancouver Canucks use that as a goal song? Very curious choice. They've had very interesting goal songs in the last decade or so. A lot of Canucks fans are favorable to Green Day's Holiday because that was their goal song when they made their cup run in 2011. Their run to the cup final, which the Bruins spoiled. Shot in from the left side of the blue line and stopped by Richard. Held for a draw with 6:34 to go in the first. Devils starting to get a couple of more chances as the period has gone on. As the faceoff goes to the right of Richard. Jacob Malloy taking the draw for the Blue Devils. They fight for it on the left side boards. That gets flipped up and out of play. Leominster's the only team in this tournament that do not co-op with anybody. They are just themselves. They have 19 players, which is just a little too much to actually properly consider a co-op. The MIAA would prefer that you be under 15 or so players before you start considering a co-op in ice hockey. Although they'll make exceptions if you have just a lot of underclassmen is coming in on the right side. Stefanillo tried to get off. There's a shot, save, rebound, score! Nick Atkins follows up on the shot. As Wood got a bunch of it, but it lands right to his right, loose in front, never had a chance to get back on top of it, and Atkins follows up and scores to make it 3-0 Bulldogs. First goal of the season for the junior from Fitchburg. Tens Monty Tech had one goal last season. I imagine he'll be pretty happy to get that one. And 3-0 to the Bulldogs.
Number 23, Nick Atkins. Assist to number 20, Dylan Gwynn. And it is 6, Colin B. Time of the goal, 8:57, first period.
Not just the first goal of the season for Nick Atkins. First varsity points for Dylan Grant and Colin Bean. Both of them freshmen. We'll also have our first penalty here, as in the box is Isaac Rosado.
Double penalty number 14, Isaac Rosado. 2-minute minor for cross-checking. Time of the penalty, 9.
Rosado goes for a cross-check. One-timer from the right side will be gobbled up by Wood. He's just been facing so many shots here in this first period. I don't think Hudson had this many shots in one period, maybe close to this many shots. I think they had 15 in the first last night. That shot is scored from Calaro through a lot of traffic. Finds its way inside the far post, and it's 4-0 to the Bulldogs. Power play goal for Monty Tech Fitchburg. They're running riot here in this first period. Four times they found the back of the net, and there's still 5:22 to go in the first. It'll also be the first varsity goal for Charlie Calaro, so they'll save the puck for that. Now Bulldogs regain the zone.
Fourth Monty Tech goal is by number 27, Charlie Calaro. Assist to number 17, Jackson Leader. Time of that power play goal was 9:38, first period.
It's thrown in on Wood. He'll paddle that one down. It's the assist going to Jackson Leader, his fourth of the night. The scoring is well distributed. I believe Calaro is the only one with multiple points for the Bulldogs, as he assisted on the opening goal by Jeanette. Now Lucas Renda trying to create some space for himself. Backhand save by Richard. And he tumbles into the boards with some assistance from one of the Bulldogs. 4:32 to go in the first. 4-0 Monty Tech Fitchburg in front. We mentioned Monty Tech Fitchburg's offense has been pretty potent. 14 goals in their first 4 games. Scored 7 and then 4. Scored 7 against Gardner, 4 against LAS last night. LAS had only given up 5 goals in their first 5 games, so that was actually a pretty solid achievement. We saw how well Leominster played yesterday against Hudson, but right now the Blue Devils have not been able to keep up with the Bulldogs. One thing I've noticed as this game has gone on is against LAS, for instance, you see the first 2 lines rotating in and out for the Bulldogs, with the third line getting some chances as Johnson's shot goes wide to the right. Ricochets off the boards right back to him, throws it back towards goal, goes off a Blue Devil skate, and now dumped down the ice. Should go for icing. Byington would have won the race, but it's no-touch icing used in NFHS hockey, as opposed to the hybrid icing used in the levels above. 3:26 to go with the first. 4-0 Monty Tech Fitchburg in front. Shot 16-8 in favor of the Bulldogs, who've really just dominated this period. As I was saying, we're definitely seeing a lot more of the third line, a lot more of the fourth line in this contest. The Bulldogs more than comfortable to roll all their lines in this game. As here's Grant with a shot. That's gloved by Wood. That's the 17th shot in this period for Monty Tech Fitchburg. It's a lot of shots to be taking in just 11 minutes and 50 seconds of ice hockey. At least 17 that make their way to the goal. Draw eventually controlled by the Bulldogs right out in front. Atkins is stopped, as Wood was able to get over there. Blue Devils try to get the pass up to the near side for Coltrane, but it's off his stick all the way down. Leader will go D to D. Keep it away from Jacob Malloy. On the near side, Dylan Grant. Pass up to the right side. Fed there for Bean. Bean trying to keep control of it. He's got on the left side. Taking care not to overskate it. His pass trying to go to the point ends up getting deflected off a Blue Devil stick. And now here is Jacob Turner up the left side. He drops it off. There's the shot, kick save, rebound. Can't be cleanly handled by Coltrane. Now thrown back out in front. On the backhand, Richard will see it all the way, and he's going to pad that one aside from Denning. Or perhaps Malloy. Bulldogs clear it out of the zone. Now they'll pick it up on the right side. Here's Atkins trying to self-pass. But too many obstacles to get around. They'll leave it there on the left side. And the top line out there for the Bulldogs. They try to feed Samet out in front. Wood's got the pads down. He's got the paddle down. Keeps the door shut. Here is Turner. But he's checked off the puck there by Holden Trahan. Out of the zone it comes. Byington dumps it back in. Blue Devils have to dodge the puck there, as they would have been called for offside had it struck them. Dump back in with 1:25 to go in the first. And we'll get a whistle. Shots 18-10 in favor of the Bulldogs. Definitely a pretty high total in one period. Draw comes to the right of Wood. It's been tested early and often in this contest. Ryan Gavin trying to take the shot from the left side point. Goes off a lot of bodies and deflects harmlessly wide. Blue Devils skating it up. Byington dumps in. Denning pushed into the boards. Byington can't recover the puck as it comes back to the near side. And with a burst of speed is Austin Haas. Haas trying to take it all the way to goal. Gets the shot off, stopped by Wood. The left side settled down, kept in by Trahan. Second effort gets it out of the zone. Haas will go and retrieve with 45 to go in the period. That one brought down by Nicholson. Second opportunity, gets it out of the zone. Here's Samet on the right side. Gets the shot off, flutters wide. Haas picks it up off the boards in the left corner. Now out to the left point, here's Armstrong. His shot redirected and cut down in the slot. Calaro keeps it in the zone on the right point. And Renda tries to backhand it out, can't get it. Calaro's shot is gloved by Wood. And he'll hold for a draw, using his paddle to keep that puck in his block, in his glove. 20th shot of the period for the Bulldogs with 18.9 to go in the frame. Draw will come to the left of Wood. Won by the Bulldogs. The shot is blocked. Dipped up on the left side. Great shot. Great save. Rebound. Score! Kyle Gendron would not be denied. On the second effort, he puts it over Wood. And it's 5-0 Bulldogs. This has been about as perfect of a period as Monty Tech Fitchburg could have ever asked for. Even with the short rest, the annoyance of having lost last night 7-4, a game they led by 2 goals and lost by 3. They've come out all guns blazing in the first 15 for 5 goals on 22 shots.
Shots in the first period. Bulldogs had 22, Devils had 10. The Bulldog fifth goal was scored by number 12, Kyle Gendron, assist number 13, Tucker Watkins, and number 25, Jackson Stewart. Time to go 14:49, first period.
And another first varsity point to be awarded on that last goal. Jackson Stubbart gets his first. The freshman from Holden is now on the stat board. Really not much more you could say for how that period went. The big concern was, could Leominster play to Monty Tech Fitchburg speed, knowing that the game they played yesterday, Hudson was content to play at that slower pace. And Leominster was able to weather the storm for a little while, but Monty Tech Fitchburg coming with a completely different style today. And the results have been completely different. 5 on the board for Monty Tech Fitchburg in the opening 15. And for Leominster, it's just a matter of, well, see what you can talk about during the intermission, see how you can change things, and you hope for the players they keep their attitudes up. They know they've got 30 more minutes of hockey to play today and try to enjoy it the best they can. We'll go into the break here. The score through one period of play, Monty Tech Fitchburg 5, Leominster nothing. Stick around for the second period of action coming up next right here on FATV. Welcome back to the Wallace Civic Center here on the campus of Fitchburg State University. The second period of the Mark Bushnoe Memorial Tournament consolation game, moments away between the Blue Devils of Leominster High School and the Bulldogs of Monty Tech Fitchburg. And that first period, well, about as perfect as you could ever ask for the Bulldogs. They scored 5 goals, they didn't concede any, and they didn't take any penalties. What more could you really ask for if you're Coach Noah Saracen? His side leads 5-0 as we get ready to start this second period of play. Daniel Bolak here with you, Travis Falk on camera. We thank you for joining us in our coverage here of the Mark Bushnoe Memorial Tournament here on FATV. And if you're watching live, don't forget there's another game coming up after this one, as we'll have the championship game for you between Lunenburg Air Shirley and Hudson. And if you're in the area, why don't you come on down to the Civic Center, check out some hockey, help support the Lunenburg Air Shirley Boosters Club. I imagine we're going to have some very good hockey for you in the nightcap of this doubleheader. Still got 2 more periods to play here in the rivalry on ice between Leominster and Monty Tech Fitchburg. Bulldogs go left to right in the second period in the Road Reds. And the Blue Devils will go right to left in the home whites as Watkins with a shot. 9 seconds into the period, gobbled up by Logan Wood. 17 saves for Wood in the first period. But he only had, he gets his first save in the second period. But obviously a challenging period for the Blue Devils, conceding so many shots and so many goals. They got 10 shots on Owen Richard. He was able to turn them all aside, and now a 2-on-1 coming here. This is Gendron into the zone. He puts it high over the net. He was trying to go bar down, top right corner. Just skied it a little too much. Went to the left side, Armstrong. His shot deflects in front, stopped by Wood, and he paddles it away. But Gendron picks it up on the right side. Behind the net as he's battling with Turner. Able to force the dispossession, but it comes out to Calaro. Calaro trying to push it forward, but that's out of the reach of Gendron. Forearm shiver there by Turner, trying to knock Gendron off the puck. It'll come back out to the left point. Armstrong's shot is blocked. Kept in the zone by the Bulldogs. Here's Watkins up the right side, backhands in front, trying to get it to Gendron on the doorstep on the left side. Didn't quite get there. Now floating on the right side, trying to feed Stubbert. But he couldn't catch that puck. And this has really been what Monty Tech Fitchburg was able to do in the first period to really control this game, with just dominate the puck, dominate the offensive zone, really pressure the Blue Devils all the way. And this will go for icing.
Okay, once again, 50-50, 8-7-2.
One thing you'll see in high school hockey that you won't see in the levels above is on a play that's clearly going to go for icing, the goaltenders will oftentimes go and leave their net to retrieve the puck. They're not intending on actually playing, they're just gathering it up so that the official has a little less work to do. Do whatever you can to make their jobs easier. Shot from the left side by Leader, stopped by Wood. Rebound pops in the left wing corner. Blue Devils trying to get it out of the zone, backhanded out by Jameson Coltran. Down the ice, will not go for icing, was deemed obtainable by Daniels. Leader out to the right side. Bulldogs try to quickly get it out of the zone. Stefanillo plays a hit there. It's tossed into the left wing corner. Touch on by Rosado. Have a whistle delayed call coming against Monty Tech Fitchburg for interference. Stefanillo's layout hit was not legal, you see. The puck was deemed not available to the player that he hit. The first penalty against Monty Tech Fitchburg will go against one of the 2 Red Raiders on this team, if you will, for Stefanillo. Jackson Leader is the other player from Fitchburg High School on this roster. Get the players in order here. for the first power play for Leominster in this contest. Caden Byington at the left point. It was on the left side, turnaround shot by Renda, didn't get much on it. Stopped by Richard, had trouble covering it up. They got a couple more whacks at him, but he's able to stop those as the Bulldogs were able to send it down the ice. Leominster will reset here, and Jacob Malloy will toss it into the zone. Bulldogs first to arrive, and they'll spit it right back out. Down the ice it goes, 1:16 to go on the power play, 12-12 to go in the second, 5-0 Bulldogs in front. 5 different goal scorers for the Bulldogs. Jeanette, Watkins, Atkins, Calaro, and Gendron have the goals in that order. Jeanette's got the steal. Jeanette puts on the move, throws it in front, wanted to find Samet, and he couldn't settle it. Would have been 6-0 if he could have gotten his stick on that puck as Byington quickly goes the other way. Gets a shot right into the breadbasket of Owen Richard. And it gobbles up, holds it for a draw. 11:45 to go in the second, 5-0 Monty Tech Fitchburg. We mentioned yesterday Logan Wood has been on the varsity roster for Leominster for 5 years. He was the backup goalie as an 8th grader, never played during that year. Made his debut as a freshman actually against Monty Tech Fitchburg back when they were Fitchburg Monty Tech. Came in relief in a game when Ryan Melanson left with injury. Meanwhile, on the other end, Owen Richard actually made his varsity debut as an 8th grader for Oakmont. And it was against Leominster during the Fall 2 season, as that one off the boards and was a little dangerous for a moment there for Wood. He was able to keep it out of the net. Those weird bounces off the boards, that's sure a thing that can happen sometimes. Into the zone and straight out again. Ola Trahan will toss it down the ice. Penalty about to expire to Stefanillo, and it does, and he's out of the box now. Back to full strength are the Bulldogs. Blue Devils had a couple of chances on that, as that's a diving puck going towards Richard off the stick of Jameson Coltrane. Well, Richard able to read that one, stay in front of it, and gobble that in for a draw. 10:46 to go, second period, 5-0 Bulldogs. Shots 25-13 in favor of Monty Tech Fitchburg. Put it this way, Monty Tech Fitchburg had just 24 shots against St. Bernard's. Didn't even get that many against Littleton Bromfield. Didn't get that many against LAS. I don't know how many shots they had against Gardner. The veteran skating rink wasn't interested in recording the shot totals for that one. So this could potentially already be a season high for the Bulldogs. We don't know of any game for certain in which they got more than 25 shots. There's still 25 minutes of hockey to play in this game too. Charlie Calaro will pick it up back in the zone, taking a little pressure from Patrick Dale. Out of the zone it'll come. Here's Atkins. Atkins gains the blue. He shoots it wide. Left of the cage, off the boards. Bean waiting for it at the right point. He'll take it in, hold it to circle, shoots, it's blocked. Byington got in the way of that. Clearing attempt went off Calaro. He wasn't even trying to block that and keep it in the zone, but it happened to hit him and it stays in. Take what you can get. Around the boards, the left side has a little bit of pressure there. Byington is definitely a player that can play a rough and tumble game. There's a shot deflects wide. Bounces off the back of the net. Into the right wing corner. Calaro stepping up, battling with Dale. Now here's Calaro. Feeds to the left side. Grant on his knees tried to take the shot. That was blocked. And dumped down the ice. And it will be icing. Blue Devils will get 5 fresh pairs of legs on the ice with the icing, which you can do in Federation rules. Can't do it in higher levels, but here you can. Draw will come to the right of Wood, who's already made 20 saves in this contest, with 9:16 to go in the second period. 5-0 lead for the Bulldogs. Another shot, another block. Bulldogs have put so many shots in the direction of goal, but Leominster's done a great job to block the shots. Austin Haas with a chance. And Wood shuts the door. Might have been also deflected by a player in front, but nevertheless, Wood keeps it out. It's his 21st save of the contest. Johnny Denning on the far side, whiffs on the first pass. Tries again, moved up to the blue line, but now Leominster having a little bit of trouble getting that off the stick of Matt Daniels. The pressure there from Jacob Nicholson forces that puck into the netting and out of play. 8:38 to go in the second, and a draw coming to the right of Owen Richard. Up ice, and here's a rush. It's going to that. Jeanette with the moves! Put that wide! And now still loose in front. Samet couldn't get it to go. And icing. As we saw in last night's game between Monty Tech Fitchburg and Lunenburg Air Shirley, things can develop quickly. But sometimes goals can come from practically nothing. Draw will be to Wood's right. Jacob Turner in the left wing corner tries to clear it out of the zone. Leader couldn't keep it in. This will not be icing. In fact, it goes on target. And Richard will have to stick that one away. Lucas Renda for Turner. He flips it up to the right side. Denning plays it off the boards. Pass broken up on the near side by Jordan Samet. Back into the Blue Devil end. Nicholson blows a tire. Matt Daniels will be the beneficiary. Austin Haas out in front. Samet trying to turn it towards goal. Didn't get good wood on it. Nicholson brings it across the red, now the blue. Takes the shot, glove down by Richard. Bounces out of his glove and onto the ice, but nobody there for Leominster to pressure. Off Samet's skate, now Jeanette. Tried the self-pass, mishandled a little bit, but leaves it for Haas. His shot is gloved by Wood. 7:27 to go in the second. 3 seconds past halfway in this contest. 5-0 Monty Tech Fitchburg in front. 2 goals in 40 seconds in the opening 90. Then they had 2 goals in 41 seconds later in the period, and then a goal with 11 seconds to go in the period. They can come in quick bursts. It's off the boards, not keeping it in there. Off the clear attempt from Rosado was Gavin. Second attempt to the near side, comes into the neutral zone. Holden Trahan battling in front of the Leominster bench. Jacob Malloy tried to move it along. Now the Bulldogs have it. Gendron on the left side. Gendron has it on his backhand in the left wing corner. Trying to create some space to get a shot off, but it goes wide to the left. Here's Trahan in the right wing corner. Byington trying to stand in there. Taken away. Backhands it off the boards. Bounces over the stick of Jackson Stubbert. Now the zone it'll come. Back into the zone, settled down by Caden Byington. Byington at one point played for St. Bernard's, but moved over to Leominster last season. That's flipped back down. It'll be icing again against Leominster. 6:20 to go in the second. 5-0 Monty Tech Fitchburg. No scoring in the second frame thus far. The first period had 32 shots between these two teams. This second period thus far has seen just 9. 5-4 in favor of the Bulldogs. Bulldogs will take the draw. Calaro winds, fires for the redirection. Save by Wood as Gendron was standing out in front. Wood scrambling a bit too, trying to cover the posts. As it's centered out in front, nobody in the slot. Armstrong has to step up there, gets the shot, and Wood makes the stop. More dangerous chances there for Monty Tech Fitchburg as Leominster enters the zone up the right side. It's rubbed into the boards, but now a chance on the left side. Shot saved by Richard on a loose puck on the right side. Couple of great chances for the Blue Devils to get on the board. Here's Watkins on the right side. His shot stopped by Wood. Rebound bounces out to the left side. It's going to come out to Armstrong. He'll shoot, it's blocked again. Leominster's blocked so many shots in this contest. That was a huge key for them last night against Hudson to keep themselves in the game. With 3 minutes to go in the second period in that contest, it was only 1-0 to Hudson. Then 3 goals in 131 seconds later, it was 4-0. Draw comes to the left side of Logan Wood. This draw controlled by the Bulldogs, excuse me. It will be now, but it was controlled by the Blue Devils. Behind the net, flipped out of the zone. Kalaro keeps it in with the skate. Byington battling for it, flipped up into the right dot. Noah Johnson takes it. Got the shot, but it was blocked. Mateus Donato got in the way of that. Now Kalaro on the right side, backhand centering pass got cut down. Kalaro will get it back. Move it out to the right point for Stefanillo. His shot cut down in front and made its way to Wood. And he'll gobble that up for his 26th save of the contest with 4:52 to go in the second. Remember, Stefanillo got his first varsity goal last year against Leominster. As Armstrong shoots, it goes wide to the right. Off the boards and out of the zone. Everyone on their horse is trying to get there, but Alex Armstrong will get there first. Senior from Petersham. He'll continue to skate up. Here's Noah Johnson. His shot floats into the air, and Wood's got to leap up there and snare it out. Not going to let that present any danger. One thing that's entertaining to see when you watch Logan Wood play in goal is just seeing his athleticism, how quickly he can go down to the ice, back up, how he can leap up into the air. Very springy, versatile goaltender in his final year of varsity hockey. And he's the man in goal for the Blue Devils. He's the only one they've got. So that's loose in the slot. You can see him scramble from side to side. He tries to keep that low side protected. Daniels trying to center, but that's cut down by Renda. Off the boards, gonna be kept in by Atkins. They'll throw it right back in the left wing corner. Jacob Turner with Colin Bean on him, puck behind the net. Bean's able to get there first. Trying to get it out of the zone, kept in. Daniels, shot saved by Wood. Maybe didn't see it 100% of the way. Another shot goes off the body in front. Another chance, save, rebound, score! All that pressure in front, and finally the Bulldogs break through in the second period. Their 13th shot on goal in the second yields their first goal in this frame. And it's the first varsity goal for Dilly Grant to make it 6-0. Have to save another puck for this Monty Tech Fitchburg side. So many players getting their first varsity points and goals.
Number 17, Jackson Leader. And number 6, Colin Bean. Time to go 11:24. Second period.
Leader and Bean get the assists on that one. It's the second of the night for both of them. And it's 6-0 to the Bulldogs, and now Ben Jeanette's gonna have a breakaway on Wood. And he stopped with the right pad. Logan Woods had to face so much rubber tonight. He's made 30 saves, and we still have 18 minutes of hockey to play. Here's Haas with a shot. Make that save number 31 for Wood. Matches his total from last night. With 2:54 to go in the second, 6-0 to the Bulldogs. I haven't brought this up yet because I wanted to wait until it was relevant. But Leominster actually does need to score in the next 3 minutes here, because if they are not able to find a goal before the end of this period, mercy is going to be declared and the whole third period will be played with a running clock. Mercy is declared if there's a 10-goal lead after one period or a 6-goal lead at any time after two. But here's Tucker Watkins into the zone, looking for a 7. Holding, waiting out, had Gendron right at the top of the paint, and he couldn't find it. Holder Trahan's shot is knocked down in front as it's turned around, and Gendron throwing it back towards goal, but it's wide. Out of the zone it'll come. Gendron at the blue line. Pass it up ice. Jackson Stubbert does a two-man breakaway. Stubbert! Well, there's a question there on if that's going to be a goal or not. And it's going to be given. Wood had it underneath him, but the way that he fell backwards, you have to believe he carried that into the net. So Monty Tech Fitchburg believes that the goal has been given. That would be Stubbert's first career goal. And they'll confirm it is indeed his goal. I know the whistle blew sort of in close proximity, and you can't say for certain if the puck had entered the net by the time the whistle blew, but continuous action will tell you that based on the whole process.
25, Jackson Stewart. Assist, number 20, Dylan Gray. Time of the goal, 12:55, second period.
Well, everything will tell you with how the process of things go. I don't really know how the continuous action rule works in NFHS hockey, but I think calling that a goal is the right thing to do, because with how much of Logan Wood's body was in the net, I mean, it was pretty safe to assume that the puck was in the net in some way, shape, or form. Wood will stop that shot from Stefanillo. It's the 40th shot on goal for Monty Tech Fitchburg in this contest. They lead 7-0. Noah Johnson with a shot that goes wide. I believe we've seen 3 Bulldogs with their first varsity goal tonight. Stubbert, freshman from Holden, getting on the board. It's always fun with the Monty Tech district how absolutely diverse and wide it is. Go as far west as Petersam, as far south as Holden, as far east as Harvard. There's no players from Harvard on the roster this season. And Harvard's a bit of an enclave in the district too, surrounded entirely by communities that are part of the either the Neshoba Tech district or the Assabet district, or no district at all. There is a Blue Devil that is down on the left side. Bit slow to get up as he took a shot off the boards. He's going to try to skate this one off. 1:12 to go in the second period. 7-0 Bulldogs in front. And that is Jacob Turner, I believe, who was worse for wear. Effectively the best player that the Blue Devils have. He wants to stick this one out. He wants to stay in this contest. He comes back to the bench, and they'll check on him during the second intermission. I have to imagine, make sure that he's all fit to continue in this contest. So we're now into the final minute of the second period with a 7-0 lead for the Bulldogs. No icing here. Will have to be retrieved by Tyler Woods. Around the boards, Atkins floats out to the right side. Trahan's shot is turned aside by Wood. Now another chance from the left side. Doesn't make its way through. Colin Bean tries to play it off the boards. Caden Byington protecting the puck. Here's Calaro stepping up. He blasts that shot and got basically nothing on it. In fact, his stick failed him in that endeavor. He's going to go get himself a new twig. He cleared down the ice and will go for icing. He'll use his new piece of lumber to retrieve that puck, get it to the referee. They bring the broken stick back to the Monty Tech Fitchburg bench, where Ben Jeanette will take it, look at it, see how did that fit together beforehand? How clean of a break was that? And he'll put that down right behind him, and then later that stick can go to wherever broken sticks go. Charlie Collaro flips it up over Johnson. Now Stefanillo on the right side with 6 to go in the period. Keeping it away, flipping around the boards. Gavin Roy in front now, and chance! Johnson right at the top of the doorstep, denied by Wood. One more shot at the buzzer. He turns that aside as well. 2 periods are in the books here at the Wallace Civic Center in the third place game of the Mark Bushnoe Memorial Tournament. Monty Tech Fitchburg leads 7-0. Ended up not really giving Wood the last couple of shots there in that period. It finishes 18-5 in the second period, the shots on target, for a total of 40-15 through 2 periods of play. Obviously, there have been a couple of games where Monty Tech Fitchburg has not played the hockey that they've really wanted to play, but today, against the Blue Devils in a game that feels like it was probably a get-right game for the beginning, one to get themselves back on track, they've played an almost impeccable 30 minutes of hockey, and with a 7-goal lead after 2 periods, once the puck drops in the third period, it'll be 15 minutes of real time away from the end of the game. 7 different goal scorers for Monty Tech Fitchburg, 3 of them getting their first varsity goals in Charlie Collaro, Dylan Grant, and Jackson Stubbert. A couple more getting their first varsity points as well. Been as good of a game for Monty Tech Fitchburg as you could have wanted. And for a little while in that second period, Leominster was able to play pretty solidly right with the Bulldogs and keep it at 5-0. But 2 goals in the span of 31 seconds, 91 seconds. After I carry the minute over, of course. Makes it 7-0, and thus mercy is declared after 2 periods of play. We'll be back for 15 minutes of real-time hockey in the third period in this third-place game between Monty Tech Fitchburg and Leominster. 7-0 Bulldogs in front. This is the 2024 Mark Bushnoe Memorial Tournament right here on FATV. Back here at the Wallace Civic Center on the campus of Fitchburg State University, FATV presenting coverage of the 2024 Mark Bushnoe Memorial Tournament. Through 2 periods of play in this third-place game, it's been all Monty Tech Fitchburg all the time. They lead the Leominster Blue Devils 7-0. Daniel Molak here with you, Travis Falk on camera and everything else. We thank you for joining us here today for our coverage of the Bushnoe Tournament. You may have heard, if you tuned into yesterday's coverage, you may have heard John Grugerty on the call with me. Obviously, he had a previous engagement, board game night in West Springfield. And I wish him and his friends the best of board game play today. As for this contest, the Bulldogs have dominated from start to finish. And with the Bulldogs holding a 7-goal lead, once the puck drops, the game will be over 15 minutes from that point. As once the clock starts with a 6-goal lead past 2 periods of play, it will not stop. Blue Devils go left to right in this third period. And Bulldogs go right to left, and we are underway. A Stefanillo shot is gloved down by Wood. And now you see on your screen the clock continuing to roll. 10 after 1 or 6 after 2 invokes the mercy rule. That's a relatively new change from a couple of years ago where it was 8 after 2. There's a backhand shot saved by Wood on his backside scrambling, but the Bulldog who took the shot was also on his backside. That was Stefanillo. Kind of wonder if they'll try to feed Noah Johnson or Holden Trahan a lot in this third period, if only for the fact that I believe those two haven't gotten their first varsity goals yet. Matt Daniels may not have his first varsity goal either. We know Colin Bean's got his first varsity points in this contest. I think part of the goal for the Bulldogs in the third period is try to come away with as many pucks as you can. They've already taken a few away for some milestones. It's Charlie Collaro, Jackson Stubbert, and Dylan Grant all have their first varsity goals. Offside against the Bulldogs. Haven't actually seen offside called very much in this contest. Well, it's icing. Face-off coming outside the Blue Devil end. Won by Leominster. Pass up to the near side for Jameson Bray. Bray flinks it to the left side. Offside is delayed. Jacob Trigney and James Dembitsky were a bit early into the zone. They've got to tag up. Here is Matt Daniels. He skates up on the right side. He gets the shot off. And Logan Wood with the glove. Hold that one in. Shots now 43-15 in favor of Monty Tech Fitchburg. It's just been a complete mismatch. If you looked at the numbers coming in, you would know that at least in terms of goals scored and conceded, that Monty Tech Fitchburg has a more potent offense, 14 goals from 4 games compared to Leominster 6. Goals conceded, 20 for Monty Tech Fitchburg and 29 for Leominster in those 4 games. The records have been pretty similar, 1-3 for the Bulldogs, 0-4 for the Blue Devils. But I don't think anyone would have expected that this game would be as mismatched as it has been. I think it's just a matter of Monty Tech Fitchburg's style of hockey is just not really compatible with Leominster's style of hockey. Maybe they had a more favorable matchup yesterday against Hudson, but just didn't really go all to plan today. Matt Daniels throwing around the boards to the left side. Bowing forward on the left side boards. Leominster able to poke it free. Malloy trying to chase after that puck, but Matt Daniels gets there first. Tries to find Gavin Roy. Now tipped up to the red line. Settled down and dumped back into the zone. Jackson Leader will retrieve. Leader will skate it up on the near side. He's got Noah Johnson on his right. Gavin Roy coming up the middle. Tries to get out in front. Tried to find Roy or Johnson. Couldn't get either of them. It'll be dumped down for icing by Leominster. Draw will come all the way down with 11 minutes and counting to go in this third period. 7-0 Bulldogs in front, on their way to taking third place in the Bushnoe and taking their second win of the season. Leominster's not going to have a whole lot of rest before they're back in action, because they're playing again in about 48 hours' time. They'll be taking on the Lynn Jets for the first of 2 meetings. That game will be here at the Civic Center, 6:30 start time. Now, Lynn has multiple high schools, 3 in fact. Lynn Classical, Lynn English, and Lynn Tech. The Jets are the mascot of none of those 3. They have a citywide co-op that encompasses all 3 of those schools. Worcester does the same thing, in which the Worcester Wildcats are the co-op that encompasses every public high school in Worcester. Also a couple other schools that aren't in Worcester, like Leicester and Bay Path. Worcester is on the Monty Tech Fitchburg schedule this season, but not Leominster's. Played off the boards. Wood knocks it along. Bray on the near side, battling with Gavin. Dubitsky trying to skate it up a little bit. Gavin getting in the way of all that. The puck just out of the Blue Devil zone. Grant gets it back in. Got his first varsity goal in the previous period. Around to the left side. Thrown in front for Stefanillo. Put all the moves on, forgot the puck. And then Grant trying to step up, and he put it wide. Can't be cleared out of the zone as Stefanillo got in the way, and he gets in the way again, this time with the stick, the first time with the body. He throws it back towards goal. Wood stops it. Holds for a draw with 9:05 and counting to go in the contest. Bulldogs leading 7-0. Monty Tech Fitchburg will be back in action in the new year. A week from today, they're going to take on Boston Latin Academy, the 28 seed. Shot through a lot of traffic. Wood will gobble that one up as well. When I looked at the schedule originally on the TNG, they originally had just Boston Latin in there. There's actually 2 Boston Latins. There's Boston Latin School and Boston Latin Academy. Those are 2 very different schools. Different levels of play, too, in a sense. Boston Latin Academy is a Division IV team, made the playoffs last year with a 5-9-3 record. They were the 28th seed, which was actually 2 seeds below Fitchburg, which was Fitchburg Monty Tech in Division IV last year. They were the 26th seed. Boston Latin Academy had the dubious honor, in a sense, of losing to Dover Sherborne, who ended up winning Division IV in the first round. Boston Latin School, on the other hand, is a D2 school who actually ended up winning the D2 championship last year, which is the division that Leominster is in. Go figure. Leominster's in Division II mostly because of the just the sheer number of people who go to Leominster High Schools. Johnson out on the left side couldn't settle it. Granted, Monty Tech is actually pretty big itself, and although there's a large number of students that this co-op can draw from, so that's thrown out in front, knocked down by Renda, tries to put it on goal. Can't do so. No shots yet in this period for Leominster. Monty Tech Fitchburg was able to successfully appeal based on their numbers. Between them, about 2,500 kids, and there's 22 on the varsity roster. You can make an argument the participation numbers compared to the school population isn't really high enough to justify them being in Division 2 or 1, and that Division 4, where they are the lowest of the 4 divisions, is the right place for them. Ryan Gavin's got it back in his own end. Tries to get up for Nick Atkins. Colin Bean with Dylan Grant into the zone. Bean at the right circle. Continue to skate it around. The left side tries to center. Missed Atkins' stick. Missed Gavin's as well. Yeah, we should be seeing a lot of the 3rd and 4th lines in this contest as Bean with the shot is gloved by Wood. 6:10 and counting to go in the contest. 7-0 Monty Tech Fitchburg in front. Shots now 47-16 in favor of the Bulldogs. Draw will come to Wood's right. Next time Monty Tech Fitchburg will be at home, I think it's going to be the 11th as they battle for it in front. Wood's got that gobbled up. But yeah, after the Boston Latin Academy game on the 4th, done on January 8th, they'll be up at Oakmont before coming back home on January the 11th. That'll be the next time the Bulldogs can put on the white unis, as they're going to host the Green Wave of Greenfield. And we'll have the coverage for you on that one. Puck drop scheduled for 4 o'clock. Lunenburg Air Shirley played Greenfield just 5 days ago on Monday. Blue Knights came away with a 3-2 victory in what was a closely contested matchup. Greenfield made the playoffs last year as the 25 seed, one ahead of the Bulldogs. So you see a lot of these teams that are pretty close seed-wise to the Bulldogs and the like. Another shot in front. A bit of traffic there, but Wood was able to see it anyway. Stop the shot from Noah Johnson. Johnson's a senior from Westminster. This is his first varsity season with the side and his only varsity season with the side. Try to pass it out to the point, but illy intercepted. And taken by Isaac Rosado, puts a couple moves on, throws it towards goal, goes behind the net. Battling for it on the near side. Finally put into the right wing corner of the Bulldog end. Jackson Leader Nice give and go there to keep that away from the Blue Devils. The pass up ice misses the mark and sent back down the ice. Jameson Coltrane try to battle for the Blue Devils to get that puck with Jackson Leader. Leader wins that battle. Goes to Johnson. Johnson tries to feed it ahead for Gavin Roy. A little too far ahead. Roy takes it off his stick. Stefanillo shot stopped by Wood. 50 shots in this game for Monty Tech Fitchburg, even with the running clock here in the third period. And 3 minutes from now, this game will come to an end. Gavin wins, gets the puck off the draw and shoots it towards goal. Wood gobbles that one up. His 44th save of the contest. Game's been pretty clean as well, only one penalty on either side. So not much in terms of outward frustration, which is good to see. Blue Devils would like to spoil Owen Richards' shutout. They've got 2 minutes and 20 seconds to do it. When these two teams met for the first time last year, that game ended 4-1. The Blue Devils were actually able to spoil Richards' shutout in the final couple of minutes. The Bulldogs would not want to see a repeat of that. He's Bean into the zone. He gets the shot off, and that's stopped by Wood. Rebound popped out to the left wing corner. They try to center it back, but nobody there. Atkins trying to dig that off the boards, but taken by the Blue Devils up the far side. Turner, I think, trying to move that along. Indeed it was. It's good to see that he's okay after he took a shot up high in the second period. Grant slings it off the right side boards, goes behind the net. Just dumping in to get some fresh legs on the ice. You can see the Bulldogs have basically been exclusively playing their third and fourth lines in this third period. I mean, nothing better than varsity time to get them some action. Imagine a number of these players on the third and fourth line also probably moonlight on the JV team. As Armstrong on the left side, shot turned aside. And down the ice it will go. Icing will be called. Does make me wonder if Leominster even has a JV team with the low numbers, considering Logan Wood's the only goalie they've got at their disposal. If they had another shot off the draw, Stefanillo turning it towards goal, looking for his first goal of the season, but Wood denies that. 25 to go in the game. Bray loses it in his skates, but leaves it for the Blue Devils, trying to rush up ice. Byington knocked off his stick, goes in the left wing corner. Calaro, they're still using the 3D lines, rotating those around. It's just the forward lines they've been sticking exclusively with the third and fourth. 5 seconds to go in the contest. Leominster will try to sling it down for one more chance. Misses the mark. Down the ice it goes. Buzzer will sound. Game will end. Monty Tech Fitchburg bounces back with a bang. They take down Leominster 7-0. As the team mobs Owen Richard, who gets the shutout. (13-1) the shots on goal in the third period.
Blue Devils. Immediately following a handshake, we'll ask both teams to line up on the blue line so we can hand out the ceremonial awards. The tournament all-star for Fitchburg and Leominster.
So as Jim LaPointe is pointing out, after the second game, the championship game, there's going to be an award ceremony. As part of this tournament, they do name all tournament teams. So a number of players will get honors. I mean, you can name a couple players now, but you kind of want to wait until the other games are done so that you could get the full stats and accounting done for Actually, I guess they'll do some ceremonies now, name some players, so we'll listen into that and see who have earned some honors.
So on behalf of the Lunenburg Air Shirley Hockey Club and the Booster Club, I want to thank both teams this year for participating, the Leominster Blue Devils and Monty Fitchburg Bulldogs. So at this time, in the tournament, there are 2 All-Stars, one from each team, and this year's Leominster All-Star goes to goalie Logan Wood. "46 saves today for Logan. Good job." And now for the Monty Tech All-Star, with a goal and assist today in the consolation game, defenseman number 27, Charlie Calero. And that concludes the award ceremony. Thank you, teams. See you next year. Good job.
So that's the award ceremony for this part, I should say. I believe there'll be one more at the end of the second game between LAS and Hudson, which they'll have an all-star from each team, and I believe they'll announce the all-tournament teams then. Logan Wood named the Leominster All-Star. Made 78 saves across the 2 games of the tournament, and obviously is the lone netminder for the Blue Devils. He knows he's got to be tested all season long. He has a chat at the end of the game with Alex Armstrong, Gavin Roy, and Owen Richard. Richard with 16 saves gets his first shutout of the season. I believe he had a shutout last season as well, so not his first varsity shutout. He's had a couple of clean sheets across his career. But he played well, and his defense held firm for him, only allowing the Blue Devils to get 1 shot in that third period, a 16-save clean sheet for Owen Richard, as the Bulldogs get their second win of the 24-25 season by a score of 7-0. Goals by Ben Jeanette, Tucker Watkins, Nick Atkins, Charlie Calaro, who was named the Monty Fitchburg team MVP for his play across these 2 games. Kyle Gendron, Dylan Grant, and Jackson Stubbert all got goals for Monty Fitchburg. For Calaro, Grant, and Stubbert, it was their first varsity goals. And a well-distributed stat arrangement tonight. Grant was the best player in terms of stats in this contest. He had a 3-point night with a goal and 2 assists. I imagine he's going to be a great contributor, a freshman. Missed the first couple of games with injury, but now he's fit to play, and he's quickly shown what he can do. Monty Fitchburg with a great performance today. To get to 2-3 on the campaign, the Blue Devils fall to 0-5. Again, the Blue Devils will be next in action 2 days from today against the Lynn Jets. That will be a 6:30 puck drop if you can get out there and support the Blue Devils. Perhaps you'd like to. Lynn was 2-18 last year, so that could be a very interesting, intriguing matchup. Monty Fitchburg at Boston Latin Academy on the 4th, at Oakmont on the 8th, before they'll be back at home on Saturday, January 11th, to take on the Greenfield Green Wave. A 4 o'clock start from the Wallace Civic Center, and we'll have the coverage for you right here on FATV. But for now, we're going to wrap up game number 1 of the Mark Bushnoe Memorial Tournament of 2024. The Monty Bulldogs taking down the Leominster Blue Devils in the 3rd place game by a score of 7-0. For Travis Falco on camera and everything else, I'm Daniel Bolak saying thank you for tuning in. If you're watching live, stay tuned for the next contest of the Bushnoe Tournament, the championship game between Lunenburg Air Shirley and Hudson. Warm-up starting at around 4 o'clock, so stay tuned for that. Should be a fun one. But until then, we'll wish you so long from Fitchburg.